The film begins on Christmas night where everyone has decorated their houses. In one of the houses, we see a man named Manel who has come to his elder sister's house with his wife and is playing with his nephew. It was getting late, so he started telling his nephew so that he could go home, after which he bids goodbye to his sister and leaves. While his wife is driving, Manel notices that his body doesn't look right. Manel asks what happened. Is there any problem? Tell me. His wife says, you know everything. I want a child. Manel says, I also want it, but not now. When the right time comes, his wife gets angry that you do not want this argument of theirs. While they were driving, a car crossed them very fast and went ahead, due to which the car went out of control, which his wife somehow managed to control, but it went on the wrong side. But before that, she brought the car to the right place. Before that, a truck comes with great force and hits their car, due to which the car overturns and is badly damaged. Manel survives the accident, but his wife is killed. Now we see the time after 1 year where Manel lives in a big house with his cat. He comes to know from the news that a dangerous virus is spreading in the whole country, due to which the borders can also be closed, so that wherever a person is, he stays there and does not get affected by the virus. Because whoever is affected by this virus, he becomes very violent, i.e. full of anger. It became extremely cruel like zombies and bit others badly. But now this virus is under control to some extent. That is, the affected people are not biting like zombies. This is the first variant of the virus. Now there are many news about this virus. There was a debate going on everywhere about how this all started. But Manel was not affected by all this. He was already very sad even before his wife's death, so he did not take any precautions and went out to roam the city in his car. At many places we see it written that, welcome to the beginning of the end. Welcome now. Manel came to the seashore because his wife had bought a boat which Manel had come to sell. When he was returning after meeting the customer, he got a call from his sister whose name was Balan, but Manel did not pick up the call. Then he went to a store I go to the city, where people are buying food items in large quantities like crazy. Although it is also being said in the news that one should buy only essential items, but people are scared that if a lockdown is imposed, we will not be able to go out of the house. Therefore, it is important to have the necessary items. After coming home, Manel calls his sister Balin, and she tells him that my husband is in the army, so because of him, we are being sent to an island so that we can be saved from the virus infection. We will be given a house, etc., to live there. So you also come with us, my brother. We are leaving for there tonight. But Manel outright refuses. But Balloon insists that my brother, we should stay together at this time. So please, you also come. And yes, you can also reach the island from the airport near you. Flights are going to Pakistan, so you can come tomorrow, but you must come. Now Manel himself did not want to go, but on his sister's insistence, he agrees and leaves for the airport the next morning with his cat. On the way, he sees many other vehicles of people who are going to the airport to go to the island. Manel is listening to the news, and he comes to know that the second variant of the virus means that the next wave of virus will be there at night. It has just come in, which this virus spreads through bites and through contact with the blood of an affected person. After reaching Manel Airport, people were standing in a long queue to get tickets because everyone wanted to go to Ireland. But then they were told that the flight to Ireland was cancelled, due to which all the people got worried that how will we go to the island now? Then he got a call from Balin. She says, brother, due to the discovery of the second variant of the virus, the airport is being closed, so all the flights have been cancelled. For now, you go home. And don't go out. I will keep updating you and tell you what to do next. Then there is a stampede at the airport as well, and Manel somehow manages to escape. He comes out with his cat and leaves for home in his car, but on the way he sees long lines of traffic. Even after waiting for many hours when the traffic does not clear, he takes his cat and starts walking towards home. He left, and it was night by the time he reached home. But what he saw shocked him because army men were standing near his neighbor's house, who had created a plastic tunnel-like area around his house, and he was forcibly dragged inside it. She was taking her neighbor because he was affected by the new variant of the virus. After coming home, Manel went to sleep. Next morning, I got a call from Balin. She said, brother, the situation is getting worse. I have heard that the government is making a 7-day holiday for the people. It is where they can keep people safe from infection by keeping them separate because they will be quarantined there, meaning they will stay there, but the inside news is that there will be more danger there. Obviously, if the number of people is more at one place, then the risk of infection increases. So whatever happens, do not leave the house. Do not go to safe zones at all. Then as soon as the situation will get better, we will take you from here. Manel sees in the news that the borders have also been closed, and when he checked his phone, there too, videos were coming from this virus that how to save oneself from the affected people and what to do. Like the other variants, people get infected by biting others and getting affected. Seeing this, Manel got worried that what is happening in this country. Then an emergency message came from the government that after a few hours, all people should be allowed to go out and markets, etc., should also be dragged inside it. That after a few hours, all people should be allowed to go out and markets, etc., should also be closed. So Manel goes to the store to buy food items, but people had already emptied the whole store, and the half thing that I was trying to buy, people snatched it and ran away. Manel also stole some things, he puts it in the bag and goes out. Then he sees that an affected person attacks a policeman. Manel comes out with a rod to save the police officer, but the affected person's attention goes towards towards him, and he starts running towards Manel. He tries to defend himself, but is shot by the infected and dies. Manel, who had fired the shot by the officer, came forward to help him, but the officer was also affected by the bite, so he asked Manel to stay away from him. After Manel left the spot, the officer shot him. He shot himself so that he could not harm others. After coming home, Manel made arrangements for his safety. He put extra locks, rods, and thick keys on the door so that no one could enter. By evening, the network had also stopped working. At night, the army brought a bus to their area so that they could take the people to the rescue. They made an announcement and asked everyone to board the bus. Manel switched off the lights of the house and hid there so that they could not take him with them. Let's see the time after 2 weeks. Manel was left alone in this whole area. He makes a video for his sister and says that I am absolutely fine here. The only problem is that the food items have finished. Then when he saw the video, I sent it, but it is not possible because the noble person who was stopped thinks even if I may not die of infection, but I will surely die of hunger. So he takes his weapons and goes out in search of food. He checked many houses but did not find anything worth eating. He had come quite far from his home. When he goes to a house, he finds an old woman there who is in a wheelchair because her legs don't work. Manel thinks that if he can get food here, but no, there was no food here either. The old woman tells him that she has eaten food here. Some houses were under surveillance, so you go to those houses. I hope there is food there. When Manel goes to those houses, he finds things to eat, which both of them eat and satisfy their hunger. But how long could this go on? So the old woman, she tells Manel that it would have been better if you had gone with the army. If we don't have anything to eat, then we will kill each other due to hunger. Manel says that we should not lose courage. I will go and look for food when they come. When he comes home, he finds a lot of food which he brings home, and at night both of them eat to their fill. He is very happy after eating and tells the old woman about his wife and says that it is good that she died. Look what we are getting to see. We don't even have food. After talking about some more things, he came back to his house. He makes videos and sends them to his sister with the hope that whenever the network is back, the videos and messages will be sent. He then goes to sleep, but then he hears an old woman's voice on the walkie-talkie and says, quickly switch on the radio. When he switched on the radio, so the government officers said that all those who are still alive should come and meet us in the camping area. Safe zone. We will help you. Send you to the island. Then the old woman says on the walkie-talkie that I don't think this is right. There is an infection in the crowd. It is spreading rapidly. Manel says that there is a shortage of food. We have to go there. She says I am on a chair. I will not be able to go. Manel says that is my job. I will help you in every way and take you with me. The next morning she goes. He wore his luggage and came to the old woman's house. But he is heartbroken to see that the old woman is dead because she had taken too much medicine and taken her own life. She had also left a letter with her saying, thank you for taking care of me for so many days. I could not become a burden on you, Majid, so I wrote this letter to you. He took the step that now you should go ahead from here alone. Then with a sad heart and alone he came out of the house, and an affected woman attacked him. He pushed the woman away from himself, and to save his life, he shoots him and kills him, although he feels bad about doing so. He again leaves a message for his sister, saying that now the affected people have come to every street. I, Majid, cannot wait for you to come so that you can tell me. If you take me along, then I am coming myself. Saying this, he leaves for the safe camping area from where the iron will be sent to him. But due to the road being closed, he started going through the forest, but many affected people started following him. But he does not stop the bike and reaches the camping area where he was told to come. But unfortunately, there were heaps of dead bodies there too, because all the people who had come here had died due to the infection, and many were affected. Now his bike overturns after hitting a corpse, due to which the box containing the cat also falls down. And now when he tries to start the bike, that is not possible. That is why he takes the cat box and goes on foot through the jungle, because the infected people were after him. He runs into a building and closes the door. The affected people start banging their heads there, and he goes out through the back door and sees a small ship, which he boards and gets worried after seeing blood on the ship. Then a sound starts coming from the cabin, and when he opens the door, he sees a small baby who is also affected. He went there, and there was a lot of blood oozing out of the boat. Manel thinks that if there was a big affected person, then I would have killed him and left with the ship, but thinking how to kill the child, he leaves the ship with a small boat. On the way, he again saw Balin. I messaged that sister, you were right, that don't go to Sevjan because the situation there is sometimes very bad. Some people were killed and some were affected. It became night while he was traveling. He sees the bodies of the affected people in the water as well. Then he sees a small ship coming towards him. He stops it by gesturing with the ship. People point guns at Manel, but when he says that he is not affected, they bring him to the ship. All of them go to a big foreign ship and give food to Manel and his cat. There were 3 people here, one of whom was the pilot. A ship's captain and the 3rd captain give pilot Manel some time to sleep. He asks the pilot that did you find only me alive? He says yes, you are the first. After his departure, Manel looks out of the window, where the family is also coming towards their ship for help. The next morning, Manel meets the rest of the people who are already living here. He asks the pilot about the family that came near the ship last night for help. The incoming pilot says no one came to talk to you last night. Hearing this, he felt strange that there must be something wrong, and he starts looking at everything very closely and tells the pilot that the family family that came last night was kept in the basement. The pilot says, "Don't think so much and mind your own business. Forget about the rest of the things." Then Manal, "It felt strange," he says. "You are a pilot. Then what are you doing with them on the ship? I know there are planes and helicopters in the nearby area, so we can also go to the island through them." Pa got angry and says, "Hey Manal, if you want to stay alive, then do your work. Don't interrupt others and just think about your survival." But now Manal thinks of running away from here alone. When he was about to leave at night, he thought about his family. He remembered that while searching for them, he came to the basement where the family members were tied up and their mouths were gagged. Manal removed the gagged mouths and asked, "We had a woman and a daughter. Where are they?" Manal refused. "I said I don't know, but then the captain's man comes here and points the gun straight at Manal. But before that, he shoots the pilot, arrives in time, and kills the captain's man by strangling him with a rope. He also scolds Manel, saying that I had told you to stay away from these matters," after which she secretly started running away in a small boat. But the captain's men caught her. They see them and start firing, in which the man whom they had just saved gets killed and the pilot gets injured. Then Manal reaches the shore and starts taking the pilot to the hospital in a car parked there, because the roof of the hospital is covered with a huge fire. They could get a helicopter from him. On the way, Manal asks him what happened to the woman and child of that family. The pilot tells that this captain is a very bad and mean person. He saves people and takes them to the island and keeps the dead bodies as his slaves, and he does wrong with women. Hearing this, Manel also got angry, and he says that when the situation will be better, then such people who take advantage of people in trouble should get severe punishment. Somehow she reached the hospital, but by then many people were affected. People started running towards them to attack, but Manal killed them all by shooting them with his machine gun. He came inside supporting the pilot, and there was neither any nurse nor any doctor. There was bloodshed everywhere. That is, there was devastation here as well. Manal makes him lie down. Then the pilot asks him to take out his bullet. Before today, Manal had not done this work, nor was it his profession. But today the situation had become so difficult that he himself had to work as a doctor. When he went to someone else's house to get treatment, another affected person was following him. When Manal gets caught by a gunman, he shoots him and saves his life with great difficulty. But on hearing the gun sound, many affected people come and chase Manal. He runs away to save his life. Then a nurse comes in front of him and helps him. She saves Manal. She took him to that area where the affected people had not yet reached. Apart from this nurse, there was a doctor and 3 children. Now the nurse went to another room to remove the bullet from the pilot. Then she came back and told that she had removed the bullet and that it was something. It will be all right after some time. Manel tells her that he is a pilot by profession, so there are helicopters, etc. Here, to which the nurse says yes, there is a helicopter, but it is parked below, but there are many affected people around, so going there is not free from danger. Manal tells the nurse that when our accident happened, I brought my wife here. Then he went to the place where his wife had died, and with a sad heart he said, "Please forgive me for not listening to you. I needed time to have a child, but how could I have known that you would leave me so soon?" Now Manal goes up and starts thinking about how to reach the helicopter safely. Then his phone starts ringing, and many messages start coming in, which means the network has come. When he checked, there was a video message from Belen, which was telling that, "We have reached the island, everything is very good, we are enjoying a lot." Now Manal was about to tell about himself when he heard the sound of a gunshot below. These were some goons who had come here in search of food. Manal quickly goes down and tells them that goons have entered the hospital before they reach the helicopter. "We have to reach the helicopter," and now she started moving forward, escaping from the affected people. Yes, one affected person comes and bites the doctor. Now, Zrania. Now although Manal killed him, but the doctor understood that I have also been affected, she tells the nurse. She was to take care of the children and go inside to the affected people herself. After this, these people moved ahead. Now here also they had to reach the helicopter by avoiding the affected people. So Manal uses his brain and sees some barriers here under which tires are stuck. He joins all the berry gutters and makes a circle inside, which these people enter and start getting out from here. But one tire got stuck at one place. When they tried to free it, the berry guts started colliding with each other and making noise, due to which many affect people come near her, but because of the berry guts, she is unable to harm them. But when all the affect people started climbing up, she started hitting them with the axe, but their number was very high and there is no use. In the meantime, the nurse opens a barricade gate and runs away with the children, and quickly comes and sits in the helicopter. After some time, the pilot also came in the helicopter. Now Manal alone fights with the affected people, and after some time he also comes and sits in the helicopter. But nobody knows what happened. The helicopter does not start, and some affected people jump the gate and take the helicopter. When they start coming into the area, Manal quickly comes and starts cutting them with an axe. Hearing this noise, the goons also come there. They had guns with them, and they also enter the helicopter area. Seeing this, Manal and the pilot get worried as to what should happen next. Both of them make a plan after looking at each other. Manal breaks a gate with his axe, due to which many affected people start entering the helicopter area rapidly. Now the goons got busy fighting with them. By then the helicopter had also started, and the pilot. He starts flying with him. The nurse throws a ladder down for Manal, climbing on which he comes into the helicopter with great difficulty. He was very happy because he was about to reach the island. He calls Balin and says, "Sister, I have done it. I am in Ireland. I am about to reach. The helicopter is about to land." But But from there, Balin says something that makes Manal's face turn pale. She says, "My brother, go back immediately, because there is a crowd of infected people there too. This place is also not safe now," and her phone gets disconnected. But Manal lands on the island with a helicopter, because now he will go back after saving his sister and her family too. It will take you, and with this, the film will stay here.